call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Rob Font takes on David Martinez this Saturday in the co-main event of UFC Noche. And this is kind of a short notice fight for both of these guys, kind of. You know, Rob Font was supposed to be fighting Raul Rosas Jr., who had to pull out. So David Martinez, who was fighting, or he was getting ready to fight, sounds like Carlos Vera and Quang Lee at some point, but then they pulled him up to take on Rob Font. So kind of a tough matchup. Rob Font's a savvy veteran in the UFC to take this fight on short notice, co-main event slot. So we'll see. You know, I'm looking forward to this one. You know, Rob Font's always a tough dude. David Martinez, kind of one of the highly touted up-and-coming prospects with kind of a flashy striking style. But Rob Font, 38 years old, getting up there in age. He's 5'8", 71.5-inch reach, 22-8 in his career. Again, pushing 40, but hasn't really showed it. You know, I haven't really seen him slow down. Had a lot of really good performances in his last couple fights. John Matsumoto, split decision. You can argue he didn't win that fight, but still had a really good showing of himself. Kyler Phillips project him, and his losses are only to, you know, Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, Jose Aldo. Like, I respect these losses. There's no shame in those. Rafael Alonso, Pedro Munoz, John Lineker back in the day. Like, these are all really good guys. Title challengers, title holders. Always, you know, top contenders. So he's Rob Font's, you know, along with his experience in UFC IQ, I would say he's a really good striker, primarily a boxer. There's a lot of high volume, has strong footwork, jiu-jitsu brown belt, but he can be taken down. You know, he's been taken down several times in his fights, only had a 42% takedown defense. So, but he does have most wins, KOs, I believe it is, at 135 pounds. So a lot of good accolades coming Rob Font's way. David Martinez, 27. 5'7" with a 67.5-inch reach, 12-1 in his career. So majority of David Martinez wins have come by KO. Doesn't have any submissions. Not really sure about his ground game, honestly. He looks to keep it on the feet, but very explosive striker. A lot of finishing potential, especially early in his fights. Comes from a Kyokushin karate background. Started training at like really young, like age 2. His family, I think all of his family started training karate very young. So tons of power in his leg kicks, excellent footwork, really good timing, throws really diverse striking combinations, throws really effective leg kicks to kind of manage the distance between his opponent. Has a really bouncy style, you know, that you're used to seeing for these karate guys, kind of in and out, lateral movement, really good rhythm, looking to find angles, and just very smooth and evasive. You know, been doing MMA for a while now. I think he had his first fight at like 15. He's from Mexico, where I think those guys can fight a lot younger than they can here in the States. But I'm gonna go with Rob Font. You know, I think he just has the experience, the veteran savvy. He's fought the who's who of 135 pounds, like I said. Martinez has, you know, explosion. He has the KO power to end things. But I just I don't know. I mean, he's got a lot of momentum right now. Both guys are really good strikers. Martinez is more of a karate-style kickboxer, whereas Font's more of a boxer. But I think Font is more well-rounded from an MMA skill set perspective. He's got the submission threat. He's got takedown threats. I just think he'll be able to kind of use his experience to weather the early storm of Martinez and just kind of start to take over as the fight progresses. You know, Martinez has only been to a decision 3 times in his career against lesser competition, so we really don't know how composed he's going to be the middle of round 2, and he hasn't got the guy out of there yet. He's dealing with a guy like Rob Font coming at him with tons of experience, who continues to build as the fight progresses, doesn't really slow down. He's got really good cardio, so I don't know. I think Font he'll control the pace with his technical striking, his footwork, use his fight IQ, UFC experience to kind of just handle the aggressive, high energy style of Martinez. He's got really good composure. I don't think that he's going to let that kind of wobble him at all, or, you know, get him out of his rhythm. So Martinez almost throws too hard and kind of winds up where I think Font will be able to kind of time those big movements. He'll pull out the big attacks of David Martinez, looking to counter, as well as just kind of cause him to throw a lot to tax his gas tank and get him frustrated. Martinez kind of overextends at times, gets sloppy with his attacks, and I just don't think that that type of aggression and style is going to work against somebody like Rob Font, who's kind of seen everything in the game. So Martinez also, he's taking this on short notice, although he was training for a fight. You know, taking this fight against, you know, such a dog in Rob Font, and such kind of a high profile spot on the main card, co-headline. That's a lot to ask of a young guy like David Martinez, who hasn't really had that type of exposure or experience as of yet. So Rob Font's he's too big of a step up in competition on short notice. You know, he's only been finished once, and that was by submission to Pedro Munoz back in the day. So he's very durable. He's hard to get out of there. Only loses to the best guys. I don't think he's going to lose to somebody like David Martinez. He's got a good win over Simon Oliveira, but other than that, I don't really rate his wins. Went to a decision with a 5-0 guy on the Contender series. So I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of potential. I just don't think he's good enough at this point in his career to beat somebody like Rob Font. So I'm going to go with Rob Font. I think he gets this one done by decision. Thanks.